Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with another Friday Reads. This will be a quick update today about my two first books of the year, in print and on audio, which are both wonderful so far. So first off, in print, I started Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This was a Christmas gift from my husband, and I am loving it. It is so much fun, but it's also got depth and emotions in it. It begins in the 1950s, and the main character is Elizabeth Zott. She's a chemist. She has a master's degree in chemistry, and she has a job with a laboratory. But this being the 1950s, she is the only female scientist there. She doesn't get any respect at all. I mean, the things she goes through are just horrible. The way the other men treat her, even fellow scientists. It makes me glad that I graduated in the 1980s and not the 1950s. And Elizabeth is clearly brilliant. She's super intelligent. She loves chemistry. It's like her whole world. When she's sitting at the dinner table with her boyfriend, she says, "Please pass the sodium chloride." I mean, and there's a sense of humor through this whole book. Yes, Elizabeth does go through some awful things. I'm maybe about a third of the way through right now. She's just experienced a tragedy, and she's had a very difficult life. So you know from the very start of the book that because it begins in the 1960s when Elizabeth is a single mother of a daughter named Madeline. So you kind of know what's coming to some degree. That scene at the beginning of the book is where someone offers her a cooking show. And that's much of what the book is about, although I haven't gotten to that yet. Because after that first scene, it flashes back to the 1950s to give you her background and her experiences working in this laboratory and meeting a man. So there's a lot of heart to this novel. There's a lot of emotional complexity, but it is also very funny. I mean, Elizabeth's funny without realizing she's funny. She's one of these people that kind of takes everything literally. One of the funniest parts of the book that I am absolutely loving is actually the dog. His name is 630, and the way he gets that name is very funny. And you can hear 630's inner narrative in the book. And he's very funny. His very intelligent dog eye views of things are very funny. So I am thoroughly enjoying Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and I can't wait to see what happens next. On audio, I also started the year with an amazing book. I barely waited until the beginning of the year because I have been dying to read this one. I'm listening to Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Now, Barbara Kingsolver is one of my favorite authors of all time. In my top 10 books of all time, a list that's constantly changing, one thing has stayed constant, and that's Barbara Kingsolver. The Poisonwood Bible is one of the best books I've ever read. The Bean Trees and its sequel, Pigs in Heaven, are outstanding. And I've enjoyed her more recent novels as well. So I love Barbara Kingsolver. I heard this one was sort of loosely based on David Copperfield by Dickens. That's a book that I read for my annual Big Book Summer Challenge 2 years ago. I read it in 2021. And I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy Dickens. I think he's got a good sense of humor, even though tragic things often happen to his characters. So I knew if this was loosely based on David Copperfield, that the main character, who's nicknamed Demon, his real name is Damon, was not going to have an easy time of things. So what she has done is taken sort of the bare outline of the story from David Copperfield and the tone and the approach and set them in 1990s Kentucky, in the Appalachian Mountains, in a rural, very poor area. So the main character, Damon, or Demon, I'm not that far into it yet, so he's still a child. He's being brought up under difficult circumstances. His mother's an addict, though she's gotten clean in order to take care of him. She's got an abusive boyfriend who moves in with them. Things happen, but, no one in his part of the world really has an easy life. So that's the story so far, but it's the way the story is told that makes this so special. She's just a magnificent storyteller, and all her talents are on display in this book. I was engrossed from the first chapters. I love listening to it. So far, just thoroughly enjoying Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. And that's it for me this week. I would love to hear what you're reading this weekend. Let me know in the comments down below. Take a moment to like the video, and if you haven't already and you'd like to see some more of my videos, subscribe.